The following program is a public access production of the United Way of Cayuga County, who assumes full responsibility for its content. The content of this program does not represent the views of Auburn Regional Media Access, which serves as a forum for community expression and offers TV training, production facilities, and channel time to all Auburn area residents and organizations.
Welcome to Conversations with United Way, a series where we shine a spotlight on the people and programs strengthening our community every day. I'm Lisa Kaminski, Executive Director of United Way of Cayuga County. Your United Way invests in local solutions that help families thrive, and we're honored to partner with agencies that are on the front lines of community resilience, youth opportunity, healthy communities, and financial security. Today we're talking with Mike Slomski of Westminster Manor, and I'm so glad you're joining us. Mike serves as the Executive Director at Westminster Manor, an organization that provides senior living services in the community, and their work touches countless lives across our community. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Lisa, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So for those who may not be familiar, can you share the mission of your agency and what you're most known for in the community?
Sure. Our mission is to provide a comfortable, caring environment that administers to the body, mind, and spirit of our residents. We're most known for the home-like feel that we have when you walk in the manor. We're a one-level facility, so we don't worry about stairs or ramps. But we have that home sense, walking into your house and feeling like you're in your living room. Everything from the decor to the way the rooms feel and the customization that the residents can have in their rooms.
Very nice, very nice. Can you tell us more about the programs that utilize United Way donor dollars and who they serve and how those dollars are used?
Yep. The donor dollars go towards our activities department, which focuses on a few key aspects, the intellectual, spiritual, social aspects of our activities, and it allows Kathy, who's the director, to really focus and hone in on things that the residents like. Everything from crafting to outing events. You guys have helped really kind of fund that area to expand beyond what we normally can have for our residents.
That's great. That's great. Is there a story, without sharing any personally identifying details, that illustrates the impact of your work?
Absolutely. So there's a few, but one that really sticks out is we had a family come to us where their loved one was somewhat independent and at home, but they lived out in the country, so there wasn't anybody really nearby to kind of be there for them. They were lonely. They weren't really engaged in anything, so they came as a resident at the manor, and they immediately jumped right into our activities. Every morning with the stretching, they joined in the crafting, and they really found a group of residents that they can really kind of relate to and enjoy activities together. And so we've really seen that resident flourish and be a part of the manor and everything that we have to offer.
That sounds great. Like, really built a community for that person.
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
Great. That's great. How does United Way support help your organization fulfill its mission beyond funding?
Sure. Events like this. You guys do an amazing job putting together events where agencies like ours can get together and really kind of spread the word of what we have to offer to the community. And we've seen several referrals come out from the events that you guys have hosted. So spreading that knowledge and that information in a great activity or an event is what we use.
That's great. We love to share all the great things that you all are doing out there in the community.
Thank you.
So what changes or needs have you seen emerging in the community over the past year?
I think one of the biggest things is with today's economy, it's tough to really figure out the future of financial of rising costs and things like that. So families are having more of a tendency to keep their loved ones home. Then it's a conversation that really you can't prepare for. So we're seeing residents that are really starting to struggle in their house, and by the time they come to us, those conversations probably should have started sooner, and so that information doesn't get out there, and they're at a point to where they might be a little bit beyond our care.
So maybe educating the public more about having those conversations would be
Absolutely.
something for the future.
Yep.
What are some of the biggest challenges your agency is facing right now, whether that's financial or operational or community-wide?
Well, you just mentioned, I think the education piece is huge. We are widely known in Auburn, and I think spreading the word and getting that information out there to potential residents and their families is key. You don't know what you don't know. So being able to explain to families and start those conversations early and talk about when it's right to start the process, when is it right to have these conversations, is really the thing that we're seeing quite a bit as of a struggle, and that we're trying to focus a lot of attention on.
That's good. Where do you see the greatest opportunity for growth or impact in the next few years?
Going along with what we were just talking about is spreading the word beyond the Auburn reach. One thing that we focus quite a bit on is marketing and fundraising and social media, and getting out there, getting the word out beyond our little home area, and spreading, all around in other communities, other counties, and really looking at our current license and seeing if we can expand on that to be able to accept other types of residents, to be able to have a bigger community.
That's great. How can community members get involved through volunteering or donations, or helping you spread that word out to everyone?
Yep. So we accept volunteers, usually in our activities department, which is great to get involved and have friends or family or people that just want to spend time with our residents join and have fun. We accept donations, whether it's a general donation or people can contribute and donate to a specific cause or an event or a department if they wanted to kind of help fund or purchase things that the residents could utilize. And then helping spread the word is really just talking to families and friends and coworkers, and getting the information out there, forwarding posts that we put out to kind of allow other people to see who we are and what we have to offer the community.
If someone were interested in volunteering, how would they get in touch or find those opportunities with you?
They can stop right in to Westminster Manor, or they can give us a call. There is a process for an application and a review, and then we would go from there and figure out what department or where they really wanted to focus in on, and we would start to schedule that to get them involved.
Great. Do you have any annual events or program initiatives that you would like people to know about?
Yep, we have two right now. We just had the Lights of Westminster, which is a Christmas event that the Friends of the Manor host for residents, their family members, the community to come and enjoy Christmas event environment. We also have our annual summer annual appeal, which is a great party that we host in the community. Everything from live entertainment to music to food. We do raffles of gift baskets and things like that to help raise funds to go back towards our residents.
That sounds like a fun event.
Yep.
If you had one more staff member or volunteer group or resource of any kind, what would you want most? What is your agency wish list?
We're a small group right now as far as employees go, and I think one of the biggest things would be finding somebody that is geared more towards marketing. Right now it's myself and Kathy, Director of Activities, that focus on the social media aspect and trying to get the word out there. But having somebody that's dedicated and experienced in that field to really help us go beyond where we're at would be great, and that'd be one of my wish list ideas.
Yes. Hopefully you can find that person or people to help you out.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your insight with us today, and for everything your agency does to support the community and individuals and families across Cayuga County. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
To learn more or get involved, you can visit westminstermanoradulthome.org or unitedwayofcayugacounty.org. And thank you for watching this episode of Conversations with United Way. Stay tuned, because after a quick break, we'll be chatting with Angela Daddabbo from Auburn Public Theater. Welcome to Conversations with United Way, a series where we shine a spotlight on the people and programs strengthening our community every day. I'm Lisa Kaminski, Executive Director of the United Way of Cayuga County. Your United Way invests in local solutions that help families thrive. We're honored to partner with agencies that are on the front lines of supporting community resilience, youth opportunities, healthy communities, and financial stability. Today we're talking with Angela Daddabbo from Auburn Public Theater, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Angela serves as the artistic producing director at Auburn Public Theater. Auburn Public Theater enriches the social, cultural, and economic growth of our area by bringing people together with affordable access to live performances, cinema, arts education, and community events. And their work touches so many people across our community. So welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
So for those who might not be familiar, can you share a little bit about the mission of Auburn Public Theater and what you're most known for in the community?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for reading the mission statement. It's always good to have a brush up. As you know, 20 years ago, literally just a few days ago, Monday, we celebrated our 20th anniversary. So in 2005, we purchased the former Grants Department Store building with the idea of transforming it into a multi-venue performing arts center. And we'd like to say it's a kind of YMCA, but for the arts. So just as the YMCA isn't just a swimming pool or a basketball court or preschool, it's a little bit, or a weight room or exercise classes, it's all of that under one roof. So we feel that everywhere there's a public library, there should be a corresponding public performance art space, a place where people, just like at the YMCA, through all of the things I just mentioned, can help bring the community together, whether it's for a movie or an open mic night, now a cafe, a comedy show, a theatrical performance. Really, it's sort of community weaving, community building. And so I hope that's what we're most known for.
Yeah, that's great. I think it really is like building that community and having a place for people to gather together and just be together. What's one of your most favorite things that's happened recently?
Oh gosh, people ask me this, and it's because we do so, we're involved in so many different disciplines. I always hesitate to mention one because then there are five I'm not talking about. But a program that has me very excited is a partnership with Flick. Fran and Nick DeLoya have this wonderful food program, and they came to Auburn Public Theater last summer. This is one of the programs that United Way helped support, and they did a one-week cooking camp with 17 young people. And at the end of that camp, we invited friends and family, and they served about 4 or 5 courses. And we have wonderful pictures and videos of the experience. And it was really, we built the lower level with a full catering kitchen with the idea of being able to someday teach culinary classes to young people. And then it all came together with that one-week camp. So that was really thrilling, and we're looking forward to offering that during school breaks and again in the summer. So that's the newest, latest class that we're really excited about.
That sounds great, like such an important life skill for young people to have, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you tell us more about the programs that utilize United Way donor dollars and how those dollars are used?
Yeah, so as I said, we have a summer program, and we do a week of musical theater camp. We study a musical from Monday through Friday, and then the students, it ranges from 25 to 40 students, do a performance of that particular musical. Now, last summer was Wicked, because obviously the movie had come out, the December before that. And then on Saturday, we take a trip to New York City to see the musical on Broadway. And that's the 10th year we've been able to do it, which is really thrilling. We put it up. Wicked was so popular that the first round filled up. We added a second bus. We've never done that before. I don't think we'll ever do it again, because being in charge of 90 people in New York City, because every student gets to come to New York, go to New York with a chaperone, with an adult of their choosing. So that was a really, really special week. Then we have a week of band camp. We had a week of cooking camp. We've had a week of DJ camp, and we have a week of filmmaking camp. So just to be able to offer, and that's for students from rising third graders through rising seniors.
Nice.
And then we push into the Booker T. Washington after school program, and we've done a variety of classes there as well. We've done filmmaking, we've done music classes. Currently we're doing improv classes, which are just absolutely wonderful and amazing, and getting out into the community where the kids are located. And when we very first started, we were inviting kids to the building, but for busy working parents, that can be a challenge after school. So we're pretty thrilled about the partnership with Booker T. Washington. So it's kind of a multiplier effect.
Yeah, that's great, the collaboration and the ability to reach out to kids who might not otherwise have the opportunity to participate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that arts education is so enriching to young people.
I mean, they say that the only discipline that utilizes the entire brain in the world is music. And I feel like oftentimes it's the first thing that hits the chopping block. I mean, people see it as an extra, and I mean, when it goes up against math or English, I mean, I get it. But when you think about what it does to particularly young brains, what it does to all of us, what it does to enrich our development at any age or stage, we're just happy to play our tiny little part and adding more music into our sphere, our little part of the world.
And it really does help with learning. You know, if you just think back to you know, your preschool days, you learn a lot through music and singing. And
my brothers and I, I'm going to date myself, but we grew up with Happy Days, and I'm not going to sing it for you because I'm on the always on the other side of the camera. But there's a song on Happy Days where one of the characters is studying for a biology test, and he creates a little kind of ditty about and my brothers and I can still sing it to each other. It's really amazing. And sometimes when I have a question about like how does the bone, I go back to my Happy Days song. So anyway,
it's really something.
Yeah, it sticks with you.
Do you have a story without sharing any personally identifying details that might illustrate the impact of your work?
Again, such a great question. So many stories of so many young people over these because we've been doing some form of summer programming since we started. I think for me personally, because we celebrated our 20th anniversary, we went through and we looked at all these pictures over the last 20 years. We have a current employee, staff member named Teddy Brill. He's our tech director extraordinaire. And Carrie Idell, one of the other founding members of Auburn Public Theater, pulled out a picture of Teddy when he was in middle school. And he was doing one of our programs. I know I'm going to make myself cry because he was pretty much he was a standout even then. We thought he was such a spectacular young guy. And so he went through some of our programming. And then we also give the use of the main stage, essentially, to Auburn High School for their drama club productions. And that's twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And Teddy went all through that program. He was also involved in Auburn Players, and Auburn Players have done productions at Auburn Public Theater. So anyway, when he started working at APT full-time, Brian Anderson, another founding member of the theater, gave him a tour of the building. And Teddy's just fabulous, lovely, kind, gracious human being. And Brian was giving him a tour and explaining where all the light switches were. You know, this is this space, this is that space. And when the tour was over, Teddy said, I already knew all of that because when I was here in high school, I used to help Mr. Fisselbrand, kind of close up at the end of the night. So again, when we were starting out, we said, we want this to be a place, YMCA for the Arts. I grew up at the YMCA here in Auburn, so it was a very important institution for me. And so this is kind of the performing arts side of it, to take young people from even younger than that, like I said, rising third graders, but that somebody from the programming should be on our staff with us I can't think of a better example of the mission being fulfilled.
Definitely. That's great to hear.
Yeah, really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
How does United Way's support help your organization fulfill its mission beyond funding?
Well, as you know, you're one of the hardest working organizations in show business, and you're out there all year round, and all of the partner agencies that benefit from the funding are also all directly benefit from all the publicity that you give us as well. So again, it's a tremendous multiplier effect, and we are just so grateful. We're so grateful for people who give and choose to give to us or give it all, because you cannot really extract any one of these partner agencies. We all, we work very closely with Jim Van Arsdale and Perform for Purpose. We, for many years, we worked very closely with Grace House, and they sent volunteers to Auburn Public Theater. There was a time early on, I would say for about the first 5, 6, 7 years, when Grace House volunteers did about 75% of the labor. They were volunteers, but it was necessary labor. It was cleaning and setup and selling tickets and staffing events. And I know that's another member agency. So I think you really do such a phenomenal job of explaining to the wider community how all of the partner agencies are interrelated.
Yeah.
So helping one kind of lifts us all.
Yes, the collaborative work among all the agencies is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
What changes or needs have you seen emerging in the community in the last year?
Last year, I would say that, as we all know, rising costs are making things very tough for people all the way. Rising food costs are making things very tough for people all the way around. And and again, in our own little kind of micro sphere, like in our summer program, for example, we always make sure that there are a lot of snacks on hand, that we're able to purchase lunch at Cafe 108 for students who we're over 50% scholarship based, and it's great to be able to waive a fee. Amazing, it makes the class possible, but these are all day camps, Monday through Friday, and if you have kids who are showing up and they haven't had breakfast and they don't have a brown bag lunch with them, we have someone on staff who actually makes brown bag lunches out of the food that we're providing, so that everybody's walking in with a brown bag lunch. I know it's so important. I mean, maybe now a little bit, but certainly not like when I was in elementary school to be like everybody else in my group. And so I would say that is something that is, we're seeing a rise in the need for that. Being able to provide support beyond just a tuition waiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great that you're able to help the kids in that way and meet the need of a food security issue too. So that's.
And when we go to New York City, for example, the bus is just stocked with apples and trail mix and all kinds of snacks for the kids. But this time, because we weren't able to stop to get fast food on the way home, we brought 22, 11 for each bus, pizzas onto the bus. So we made a dinner and a show. And that's great too, right? Because everyone's having the same meal, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And eating together.
How many people went on your last trip?
There were 90 of us.
90.
Yeah. We sold out. It was wicked. It wasn't us. It was wicked. So we'll see what happens. We haven't decided on the musical for 26. We'll see if that number kind of slips down a little bit. But yeah, that was a really fabulous experience. It was one of those hottest days ever in New York City. It was super humid, and for the first time ever since we've been going, the bus would not drop us off in front of the theater. There's this sort of little jog where the bus can park at Bryant Park and just kind of hold. And so we thought, we looked at the map and we thought, that looks pretty close. It was only about a 15-minute walk. But New York, when you have 89 people following you and only half of you can get across the street before the light changes again. And so you're holding on the sidewalk with 45 people where all the other 45 people are about to cross. I mean, we were fine. I don't think the New Yorkers loved us because it was kind of hard for the pedestrians to, kind of maneuver around this big hulking group of 90 people. But we made some pretty great memories.
Yeah, so. I'm sure a lot of logistical stuff, but the experience to be able to go to, just such a different kind of culturally diverse place, and this is mostly a rural area, and
that's right.
It's just great for everyone who was able to go, I'm sure.
Well, thank you. Yes, we think so too. And in addition to being able to see the musical and have a couple slices of a New York style pizza, we come through the tunnel. We always come through the Lincoln Tunnel, and we sort of emerge in New York City. I mean, it's lovely. It's not the most iconic neighborhood, and it always is going to make me tear up too, because it always gets a standing ovation. And there are many kids who are obviously seeing New York City for the first time, but then we also learn, for a lot of students, it's the first time they've left the city limit of Auburn.
Yeah.
And so for us, that's really important too, because then whenever they go on to watch television or movies and they see the New York City skyline,
it really makes a connection.
It does, and it says, we did this in a day, because we go and come, we go down and come back on the same day, and so it sort of puts it within their literal reach. The wider world comes into their literal reach, and so that's a really big part of why we do it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges your agency is facing right now?
Probably the same challenge that every agency is facing, I'm sure, and I know you hear this day in and day out. It's a tough time for funding for non-for-profits in general. Although it's interesting because, and we saw this with COVID, we saw this in 2008. If you get to be an old lady like myself, you start to see some trends, which is kind of interesting. But it's like times get tough, and so certain funding sources dry up. But then private donors tend to kind of jump in and kind of fill those gaps. So it's an interesting balancing act. Yeah, I would say that's probably the largest. And articulating the mission, I think. And I think that's sort of an ongoing challenge for us. Somebody compared us recently to an octopus. They said, if somebody comes in for summer programming, and they've done that year after year after year, but then they have no idea there's a cinema, or we have cinema patrons who come in week after week after week, and they don't know anything about the comedy shows. So I think that's just an ongoing challenge. And we always say, if we had more money for marketing, but I don't know, even if, listen, we'll always take more money for marketing, but even if we had unending amounts of funding to do that, I think because to us it's a kind of brand new public institution, we cannot over-articulate what the mission is and what exactly we do in the building because of its newness. So I'd say those two things.
Educating people and building awareness.
Yes. Yeah. I have a dear friend who she used to come with me to a lot of comedy shows for years. And one day she went to use the restroom at intermission, and she came back, and this is somebody I've known, my whole life. And like I said, she'd been coming to the theater, and she said, is that a separate movie theater? And I thought, wow, I'm really not doing my job. So, yeah, even people who are coming in and utilizing the building, unless we're giving you a tour,
right?
Why would you need to know what's behind all the doors, So,
yeah. Where do you see the greatest opportunity for growth or impact in the future?
Well, for me, I'd say about 80% of the reason why I got into it, I can't speak for the other founders or any of the other staff, is to provide a safe and, accessible and inclusive space for young people. And we started just this semester offering music classes at the rescue mission. And these are kids who aren't in the after-school program. And so there would be no other opportunity for us to interact with them other than that chance. So that's just an absolute thrill for us. And I would say that, with the lower level finished, the Awaska room just came online, the 4,000 square foot ballroom on the lower level. And there's a black box theater down there as well. And we really look forward to obviously being able to rent that out and to offer more programming. And we have a real eye toward offering programming there for middle school and high school kids. Because when I was growing up in Auburn, again, dating myself, back in the 70s, I had my paper route downtown. I was at the public library constantly. I was at the Y, several times a week after school. And we really would, I don't know if we can have kids every single day in the afternoon at Auburn Public Theater, but we'd love to be able to offer events for them to attend. Because I think this is how we really learn independence and agency. We do things without our caregivers present. Back in the day when you'd leave the house at 9 in the morning and you'd come back at 6 o'clock. And your parents had no idea where you were, and you had no idea what your parents had been doing all day. You came home for meals, that was it. So, and I know that it's a changed world, and those things aren't even possible anymore. But to be able to offer, let's say, like a DJ concert, or we actually went to the junior high with Mr. Alberisi's Blueprint Kids, and they said they wanted a cornhole tournament. So we're working on the possibility of a cornhole tournament. An example of something we never would have thought of on our own. So you have to go to your constituents and ask them what they want.
I bet you they'll be excited.
Yeah. Here's hoping that comes together pretty quickly.
If community members wanted to get involved in Auburn Public Theater, whether through volunteering, donations, or helping you spread the word, how might they do that?
Well, first of all, thank you again to the United Way, because we've now linked up to your website, and we've had several people contact us because they've seen the volunteer opportunity.
Great news.
Which is so great. Love when that happens. And then people can send information to info@auburnpublictheater.org. We now have a wonderful volunteer coordinator, Lisa Mulcahy, who's the newest staff member at Auburn Public Theater, and she's really formalizing our volunteer program.
Great.
And in just even a very short couple of months, it's really taking off, which is so
fantastic.
Great.
That's good news.
Yeah, really helpful.
Great. Do you have any annual events or program initiatives you'd want to share with people?
I would say, we have a monthly open mic night. We are now teaching improv classes around the entire calendar. We started out with this wonderful guy named Tim Mahar, and he did like a 10-week class here and an 8-week class here, and then he just finished a 12-week class. And I'm actually going to meet with him next week to give him the dates. He thinks we're going to talk about dates, but we already sat down and mapped out the whole year. And so that gives people an opportunity to kind of, flow in and flow out. We have a free movie every Tuesday at 1 and every Saturday at 3. And that's introduced by board member Joanne O'Connor, this very wonderful, lengthy, and scholarly introduction. And it's punctuated by a raffle. So everyone gets a raffle ticket just for coming in. I think I said the movies were free. And every week the movie changes. So every Tuesday and Saturday it's the same, and then every week it's a new movie. So that's happening year-round. We now have a poetry circle. That's every third Wednesday. So coming up next week from 5 to 7 in Stage Right. That's actually a suggested $5 donation, but if you don't have $5, please come anyway. I guess, again, it's like the thrust of the APT mission is to offer programming year-round in all of the spaces and all of the disciplines. So I would say jump on the website and see what appeals and come see us.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds like so many different opportunities for people to come out and enjoy and learn and gather together.
We hope so.
Yeah. If you had one more staff person or one more volunteer or one more resource, what would you want most? What's your agency wish list?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what I said earlier. If we could really have somebody dedicated to publicizing what we do, because we still hear a lot, believe it or not, where is it? Mm-hmm. What do they do? What goes on there? Or people come in and they go to the cinema day, week in, week out, but they don't know that the cafe is on the front of the building or that it's connected. I mean, there are a lot of things on the wish list, of course, but I think for me, it's a little bit, it's not quiet by design. It's quiet by lack of the resource of time and money to get the word out in the wider community. So, and social media has been very helpful. Of course, we have a website. We do a monthly email newsletter, but a lot of times, in that case, we're sort of preaching to the choir. I would just love if we could get somebody dedicated to getting out there and letting everybody know, because 20 years feels like a lot to us, but in the life of an institution, it's still a 20-year-old. It's not a 40-year-old, it's not a 60-year-old, it's not an 80-year-old. So I would say that probably pretty much, help somebody to help us get the word.
And so
out.
If someone wanted to do that, they could just reach out?
Yes. Yeah.
Via email?
Yeah.
Or,
I didn't realize this is a pitch for somebody to do that. Yes. Come see us. If you're somebody who's savvy, about how to get the word out, in Auburn and the surrounding environs, please jump on.
Great.
Yeah. We'd love to have you.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Angela, for sharing your time today.
My pleasure.
Your stories about Auburn Public Theater and your insight, and for everything that your agency does to support individuals and families in Cayuga County. To learn more or get involved, visit auburnpublictheater.org or unitedwayofcayugacounty.org. And thank you for watching this episode of Conversations with United Way. We'll see you next time.